Do you think that the dataset you have got is enough for making the prediction in your data science project? Well, no, because every dataset has some features which are hidden, and you have to dig a lot into the data to uncover those hidden variables. Well, yes, in this today's topic, I will going to talk about the feature engineering within any data science project or the data science dataset that you have. And specifically in this video, we will look at the time series dataset and see three different techniques along with some bonuses like the shortcuts that I will show you where you can do your work very quickly. So guys, this is Abhishek and let's get started. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the feature engineering part. So first of all, we will going to, as usual, import pandas as pd, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and percentage matplotlib inline to show the plots if we need to create any. I'm not sure, I don't think I will create any because this is just a feature engineering, but still if needed. So once we have done that, we can go ahead and execute. And before I proceed any further, just a quick information that is the same file that I have been using. As you can see, it has some previous code and which is related to the previous video and the previous project, part of the project that I have added. And I have been using the same female birth dataset that I have. And the first column we are taking as an index, which is nothing but date, and we are parsing the first column as date so that Python can understand, okay, this is something which is a proper date. And if you have seen my videos, the earlier two videos, one of the issue is, let's say if we execute this and see a couple of last rows using the tail method, one of the issues is daily female birth in California, right? So problem with this is that apart from this row, which is the last row, all the other row is basically having the values which is within the range of anywhere 25 to 75. But this 1959 is a big outlier, which is nothing but the year in which the data was recorded. So how we can remove that is by using the nrows, NROWS, nrows parameter, and in that we can specify how many rows we want to take. So including this, we have 366 rows, but up until here, which is 12 December 1959, we have 365. So we'll go ahead and execute this, and if we execute again, that last row is gone now. So earlier we used different methods like removing the row using the specifying the numbers within the index number using on the data set. But I just wanted to show you another method by which you can use this parameter number of rows and remove all the rows which you don't want. You can also explore more methods. So if I go at the end and press Shift Tab, you will see a lot of different methods right over here. So nrows is something what we use. There is a skip rows. Let's say first 2 or 3 rows contains the information about title of the file or some other information. You can skip the rows right from the start. So skip 3, it will going to skip the first 3 rows. So things like that. So it's very, very useful and a lot of features which are present over here, and we will use it as and when it is required. Okay. And one other request which I keep getting or I received is using the shortcuts, that I have used the shortcuts, and I could create another video just to show you the shortcuts, and which will be like 10, 15 or 30 minutes. But I want to just summarize all of these shortcuts in just few seconds for you so that you are not wasting your time. Just whenever you are in here, not in the code mode, right? So code mode is basically going into the cell and this is where we will going to start write the code, and I am calling it a code mode. But if I press escape, I am out of the code mode. That means the edit mode. So now when I'm out of this mode, I can just press H from my keyboard, and this will enable all of my keyboard shortcuts that I have, right? So I would just like you to go through with these shortcuts. But if even after that, if you want me to create something, create a video on this, I mean, I can create it. I just have to take the information from here and show you just the most important one, which I keep using it. For example, adding a new cell, which is nothing but the B, which I press insert cell above A, and there is one more D, which I use a lot to delete. Z is to undo cell deletion, paste V. So all of this shortcut is present to you that you can go ahead and use it just by pressing the H from keyboard, and it will display to you. Again, I'll press H and it will be displayed to me. All right, so just a quick sidetracked information. Now coming back to our original methods or original problem, which is creating a feature engineering. So one of the very first thing you will do in any time series, or if you have read any other blog, or if you know a little bit about the time series, is creating a lag variable. So lag variable, I have covered it in my even the first video, where we just went through very quickly on the project, creating the ARIMA model for the prediction of values. And lagged values is nothing but with the concept that the previous value is the best reflector of current value. That means the 37 value is the best reflect for this particular value, even though the next value is little bit large, or it may be a little bit less, but within the time series it is assumed that the previous value is very well correlated with the current value, and that's why we call it a best reflector. Sometimes you have to go 2 step back. So for example, when we are at 48, 37 is the best reflector. When we are at 55, 52 is the best reflector. So we are going 2 step, 1 and 2, sometimes even 3 step. So for 55, the best reflector is 37. For 50, best reflector is 52. So this way we try to go back 1 step, 2 step, or 3 step back and try to see whether this particular value is the best reflector for the current value. And with the help of that, we create the lag variables just to see a good correlation that is present and can help us explain the model and give us the good output. So how we can create it is, first of all, what I need is I need to create one new column, which is, let's say, lag1, and that's how you will going to create a column. Specify the name of the object, and lag1 is your column name, like you have total female birth, and equals to, just say f underscore birth, and after that you use the shift method, shift, 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 and then specify 1 and then dot, no mean, because that's a different method I was just thinking. So one good practice is, even though you can do this, but if we do a shift of 2, that means going 2 step back, or coming down to 2 step, or coming down to 3 step by using 1, 2, 3 parameter, it will going to create an issue if we directly use f underscore birth. But in case of shift 1, it will not do, because it will directly pick up this particular column. So the best practice is just take this column name, even though it is large enough, but I just copy and paste it within the bracket, paste it and execute it. All right, it has executed fine. So f underscore birth dot head, and that's where we have our lag1 variable. So 35 is coming here, 32 is coming here, 30 is coming here, 31 is coming here, right? Similarly, if you want f underscore birth BIRDH, and lag2 equals to, I will just copy this so that I don't write it, and press shift 2 f underscore birth dot, I don't know why I write it wrong. So you have two values. Similarly, up until like lag3 you can create, and this will help you create the new variables for your data set dot head. And now actually what we have done is, from univariate time series problem, which was having earlier only the one column, we have converted this into a multivariate linear regression problem, or a multivariate time series problem, because now we have four variables, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So with these four variables we can basically run through ordinary least square or the linear regression, and basically see whether all of these variables really contributing into the model or not. All right, so that's one way of how you can do the feature engineering, which is, as I said, very first method will be to create the lag variables. Next method is basically creating a rolling means or the moving average. So moving average is nothing but, let's say, or I have already explained in the project one, but if you have not seen, let me explain it here again. So if we are saying that we need a moving average of 3, so what we will do is, we will take the first these three value 1, 2, 3, we will add these three values and then divide by 3. That's the general formula for average. You know, sum all the number and divide by the count of number, and the output will come over here beside this. Similarly, the next step is count these three values, sum these three values and divide by count of values, and the output is here. Similarly over here, sum these values, divide by the count of values, which is 3, and the output will be here. So this way you will create another variable with the help of moving average. So moving averages are very important to, first of all, reduce the noise from the data set, as I have explained earlier, as well as in the stock market. If you have been into stock market, or if you have heard the stock market technical analyst, they are using a lot of moving averages, which is to basically define or to basically smooth the entire series. And not only the simple moving average, they even use the exponential moving average, and they have a lot of techniques to basically predict the stock prices just by moving averages. All right, so how you can create it? So f underscore path, and what I'll do is I will say MA3, which is moving average hit 3, and in this moving average what we were going to do is f underscore, or what I'll do is I need to copy this. I don't want to write it. Copy this, right, and say rolling, say window parameter, which is 3 dot mean. So what is going on here? Simply we are first specifying a new column name, which is MA3, and we want to take up this column for computation. On this column we want to do a rolling mean, that means first 3 period of mean. So the period is specified over here using the window parameter. So what it does is, basically in a basic language, it creates a window of this 3 from the entire set and perform the operation of mean only on these 3 values. So that's the what's going on behind the scene. So if I execute this, f underscore path dot head, this is what I get, right? And f underscore, if I want, I think what we usually would like to do is, like we have created the 3 lag variables, it would be good to basically create at least 3 variables for even the moving averages, and basically, you know, see whether they are the true reflector into the model. So f underscore birth dot head. So head is over here, and we can see as and when we are moving ahead, we are getting more and more null values. So for birth, this you get the null value. Not only this, so as you can see, for rolling window 3 dot mean, so this window, this particular operation opens up a lot of permutation and combination that one can apply. And what I mean by that is, let's say for some reason as a business you figure it out from the subject matter expert that the particular window, let's say within the 7 days, the maximum value is the true reflector of our business, or the minimum value is the true reflector of our baseline. Then what you can do is, instead of mean, you can even apply the min, max, or standard deviation. So what I can do for you is, I will just copy this, let's say. So that 5 day is basically the business period, and we will say max 5 or max underscore 5 just to reflect that. And I'll come over here and I will execute this f underscore birth dot head, right? So 44, because 1 2 3 4 5, this is 44. So from this window we have just captured the maximum value, because our subject matter expert told that the maximum value in any given business week is the true reflector of our business, as we are in a high growth era. So this way we can make sure that we are picking up the right value as part of our data science model, and with the help of the subject matter experts, and this way it will help us capture the, so this particular statement helps us capture the right value. Or if your company is mature or is in an era which has which is like normal operations are going on, and it is important that you need to keep the minimum value, so for the baseline information, so you can even keep the minimum of 5. So you just remove this and birth dot head, you will have minimum 5. So now you can see, from just one single variable, with the help of little bit knowledge and creativity and with subject matter expertise, we can create so many variables, and the opportunities are endless. I mean, there is a seasonality factor that can come into the picture. There may be a trend factor which may come into the pack. There may be a cyclical factor or any other factor. The more you will dig within the data or within the business, the more you will figure it out about the feature engineering, and that's the most creative part, apart from interpreting the model and all, which is like the straightforward ahead, but you still need to be creative over there. But feature engineering, I personally feel, is the most creative part within the entire data science process. All right, so this is something where we have done most of the feature engineering. There are a couple of other instances where we have seen like people are even creating the series on a day or on a month or on a year, just by capturing the day, week, day, month, and year. And even in some cases, using the resample method, they even create the weekly series or the monthly series or the quarterly series. So that's another way, which is like changing the entire data set itself for your purpose of prediction. So I would just like to explain that how you can capture the week, month, or the day, month, or year information. So what do we have is basically f underscore birth day. Let's say we want to capture the day and want to create a variable out of it, though it doesn't make a lot of sense. However, if it is a daily series and we just want to capture the day, we can create a separate data set altogether from it, instead of forming this entire operation. So f underscore birth day, and we have f underscore birth dot index because date is present in the index. So I just press the tab and it completed the statement, and I will say day, right? If I execute this and f underscore birth dot head, if I press head, I got the day variable over here, or the day column, on which I can, I don't know, I mean, you can even use it as a variable, or you can even create a new series from it. I think creating a new series makes more sense in this case. Similarly, you have a lot of different things that you can do. For example, month, I believe it has the month, yes. Score birth, score head, dot head. Now we got the month information also in a different column altogether, and this may be something like you can create even the dummy variable if you are being more and more creative. I mean, that's like exploding your data set. Similarly, f underscore birth and say year, f underscore birth dot index dot year, f underscore birth dot head, and you got the year parameter. And it doesn't stop here at all. I mean, there is another thing which you can do, is basically the differencing, which is nothing but makes the series more stationary by removing the trend, seasonal, or the cyclical component. And this way you can basically create a series which is having the order of difference, which is the difference of 1, difference of 2, or difference of 3, and then try to see whether this is making sense in your model or not. So the opportunities, what I'm trying to say is, opportunities are endless when it comes to do the feature engineering within the time series or any other data set. But how you do it and how you execute, how you want to take it ahead, is simply based on the experimentation. Like I have always said, as a data scientist, you have to keep on experimenting so that you know more and more about the data set, and the more you know, the better you will be able to predict with the help of the model. Now finally, in this particular tutorial, final thing I want to do is removing the NA value. So to remove the NA value, we have a very simple method, f underscore birth dot drop NA. That is it. Sorry, drop NA. And you can see over here we have no NAs, and the series is starting from here, if you can relate with this. So it is your series which is ready, that you can actually put it into a model, and I will show you in a next video about how you can create the model on a multivariate time series, and that is helpful in most of the cases for doing the predictions and all. So that's pretty much what I had for you in this video for doing the feature engineering, and I hope you liked it. And if you liked it, don't forget to make a comment in the comment section to let me know about it, and as well as if you have any question. And if you like the video, it will motivate me to create more and more video. And as always, share the videos with your friends and with your colleagues so that even they can utilize the knowledge which you have and I'm sharing. So that's about it, and I'll meet you in the next video.